I'd like to open this class today just first by welcoming you all and thanking you for being here. I am just so grateful that you choose this class to do on Saturday morning. And it gets me on my mat too, so it's really good for me too. So thank you. Thanks for getting my butt on the mat, you guys. So this is a class that, and I really want to put this as the title of the class. This is the emphasis on meeting your body where it is today. And thinking about that, right? Like I think have these expectations that, I did this last week, or I was able to do this a year ago, or whatever. And the truth of the matter is we are changing constantly. And we have to address our body exactly where we are. And considering what we did yesterday, what we did last week, what kind of a week we've had, what we ate yesterday, how we slept last night, all of this is going to affect how you feel right now in this moment. So to some degree, our bodies live in the past. It's like this accumulation of things that have happened, over the past week, year, really our lifetime. Our tissues hold all of this memory of what's happened, all our injuries, everything. And finally, I want to remind us all before we start, and this is going to blow your mind probably, this physical practice of yoga on your mat is not even about your body. That's really more of a side dish. It's a side note. Yes, we are working through the tissues, but yoga means union. Yoga means to bring everything together, body, mind, and spirit. So we're really working with our nervous systems when we're on our mat. Did you guys know that? This was actually mind-blowing to me when I first learned this in studying Ayurveda. Ayurveda, as you know, is a sister science to yoga. And Ayurveda deals with the body. Ayurveda deals with, it's the medical side for the body. The yoga practice that we do is for our mind. It's for the nervous systems. So this is why there's a great emphasis on the breathing, because the breathing, there's a direct correlation with how our mind is. You ever notice that if you ever driving along and you look in your rearview mirror and you see that someone may be coming up on you really fast and you're thinking, I'm going to get rear-ended right now. What do? What does your body do? How do you react? What does your breath do? Are you breathing deep and full? You're going, right? And you tense up and you only breathe in the upper part of your chest. So this is what we're doing chronically, unfortunately. We are breathing this way on a regular basis, which actually puts us in that sympathetic state, that sympathetic nervous system state, where we're, ready to fight or flight. So this is really important. We're not designed to be living in that state. We are it's designed to help us in a dangerous situation, like quickly swerving out of the way to get out of the way of that car that might be hitting us. But then we pretty much immediately go back to the rest and digest state. So having said that, I can go on and on and on about this because it's just so fascinating to me. But having said that, let's try to get ourselves more focused on the way we're breathing, less focused on the physical expression. Now, even though that we're going to be stretching and moving and working through our aches and pains, because that helps the mind, the focus is your breathing. Okay, so let's begin in child's pose. So come around, I'll meet you on the mat. And you can separate your knees a little bit wider than your hips and bring your big toes together to touch. And if you are experiencing any kind of digestive issues this morning, which does happen from time to time, you can also place your knees a little closer together and create a little more compression for your abdomen, a little more massage in that area. And the arms can be alongside the body, or they can be stretching forward towards the front of your mat. You can take a dynamic child's pose where you're really reaching the arms long, or just soften the elbows. Just kind of feel into what is going on with you this morning. And then we are going to take about, 5 to 8 breaths here. And if you do have, a lot of stress going on in your life right now, a lot of things going on, this is a class for you. It can be a place of refuge, a sanctuary, a safe place. So allow it to be that for you. Scan the body. Notice what you're bringing, what's different, what's the same. And also the level of the mind. How are you today, mentally? Do you feel a lot of mental stress? And then finally, the emotional body. How are you feeling emotionally? All of this we have to consider. Good. I've been loving, as of lately, these cat-cow variations. So we will play with a little cat-cow today. Let's just take a normal cat-cow. So let's come up into tabletop position, hands and knees. And bring your knees underneath your sit bones, hands directly underneath your shoulders. And then inhale, lift your chest, lift your chin, and lift your tailbone. Just take a moment to feel that stretch in the whole front body. And then on your exhale, push the ground away. Draw the navel up towards the spine, round the back, and flush out your shoulders. And then let's take a flow with the breath. It's a very simple movement to bring in a nice, easy flow for the breath. So let's inhale into cow, maybe for 4 or 5 seconds, and then exhale into cat for 4 or 5 seconds. So continue that on your own, creating a nice, steady, rhythmic breath. And then the movement will match the breath. Just get some nice warmth in your spine, wake up the body. Take a couple more rounds and aim to pull that breath down deeper into the lower lobes of your lungs, because that's where the receptors are for the parasympathetic nervous system. Let's do one more round. Very good. And then let's bring the knees all the way together, please. Curl your toes under, and then just push your hips back and hold there for just a few breaths. Maybe rocking your hips a little side to side, getting into the low back and the toes. If you have more room, more space, then you can put a little bit more pressure by bringing more weight to your heels. But always feel free, class, to bring your hands forward and stay there. Remember, you're meeting yourself where you are today. Not what I'm doing or anybody else. No expectations. It just is what it is. All right, let's come forward onto hands and knees, and then let's tap the toes out. It usually feels pretty good after that. Nice. And then let's open up those knees again just a little bit and bring the hips back towards your heels for child's. Let's take a side stretch. Walk your hands to the right, all the way to the right. But keep your hands about shoulder distance apart. Feeling into that nice side stretch on the left side. And then we'll take some cat-cow variations here. So as you inhale, we're going to come up to the right side towards your wrist and lift your chin, lift your chest. And then exhale, keeping that left hand there around the spine and draw that left hip back towards your left heel. And we'll continue that a few rounds, please, on your own. And just aim to match the movement with your breath. Very good. Let's finish up that last round, and then let's take that to the other side. Walk all the way over to the left. Find your little side stretch on the right side. Pause, breathe. And then as you're ready, we'll inhale to the left side, come up into table through cow pose, lifting your chin, and then exhale, rounding, plugging that right hip back, keeping that right hand nice and rooted. And then just continue on your own. Just feeling into all the little nuances, all the little subtle things, and maybe not so subtle. Good, and then let's come back to center. We'll come into tabletop, and then we'll go right into puppy pose. Walk your hands forward, and then just start to melt the heart down, armpits down, maybe the forehead or the chin, depending on how your neck feels. Good, so as we change, and we change every day. Also, too, our exercise routine changes. The way we work out, the way we do our yoga practice, all of this has to change along with everything else that's changing. Good. And then let's come up into cat pose. So we'll just offset that. Nice balance, round the spine. And then let's make our way all the way down onto your belly into Sphinx pose. If you woke up today with some lower back malaise, like I did, this is gonna feel really good. A nice gentle back bend. There's a couple points here. Stretch the toes back away from your chest, but push your chest forward. So it's almost like a tug of war energetically. And taking 2 more rounds of breath. Good, and let's lower all the way down, and let's bring the right arm out to the side for our shoulder stretch. Palm facing down, walk it directly out in line with your shoulder, and then stack your hips and stack your shoulders. Try to let your head relax. So if you need to place a little blanket or towel underneath your head, that might help you to relax your neck. belly, and then we'll take the other side. Walking that left arm out, palm facing down. And the other little thing that really is a big thing is to pull your left shoulder blade down like you're trying to put it in your back pocket. So that's a little energetic adjustment that will make a big difference. Okay, very nice, everyone. Roll back onto your belly. And then let's slide the hands back underneath your shoulders and then a little bit further back so that your fingertips are in line with the center of your chest. Strong legs. Okay, please don't make this a push-up. This is really back strength and leg strength. Keep your forehead down. Take a moment. Plug your shoulder blades back. And then inhale, start to peel the chest up. But isometrically drag your hands back towards your hips to pull your chest more forward. And then exhale as you lower down. And we'll take that cobra flow 2 more times. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, lower down, nice and controlled. 1 more time, inhale, roll those shoulders back and down. Exhale, lower down. And then let's come up into a cobra, hold here. Once you get to your maximum, take the hands and float them just about 1 inch off the mat. Keep your feet pressing into the earth, lift your chest, 1 more breath. And then lower down gently. Good, pushing back into child's pose. And take a couple deep breaths here. Very nice, and then we'll take a little flow. Inhale, come up to cow pose, matching the breath to your movement. Exhale, round the spine through cat and push all the way back to child's pose. And take the entire exhale to get there. Okay, a couple more times like that. Inhale up to cow. Exhale, start to round and push yourself back to child's pose. And just taking that flow, a couple more rounds. Just waking the body. And listen to the sound of your breath. It becomes like a mantra. 1 more round. Okay, very good. Let's come up into table. And then let's take the right foot back. So you're on the ball of your right foot. And then turn your hands out to the side. Press back through your heel and lift your chin. If you have more space, more room, you can turn your hands all the way around. Lift the chin and press through your heel. So find your comfortable place. Very good. Let's turn the hands back around if you did that variation, and then just place the right knee back underneath your right sit bone and take your left leg back. Ball of the foot, press through the heel. You can turn your hands out to the side or all the way around. And lift your chin, lift your chest, press through the heel of your foot. Very good. And then let's turn the hands back around. Place the left knee back underneath your seat. And then just do little circles here, little circles around with your hips. And then go the other direction. Okay, very nice. And then we'll take the right leg up and toes facing down. So now your leg is lifted in line with your spine. And just take a few moments to really firm that leg. Take the left hand to the bottom of your ribs and make sure they're not dropping. So manually push them up towards the back of your body so you have a nice fullness in the kidney band. Keep that and then stretch your left arm forward right alongside your ear for spinal balance, holding for 3 breaths. Feel like you're being pulled apart. Good, and then set everything down. Nice, we'll just go right to the other side. Left leg lifts up behind you, toes facing down. If you need to check out your ribs, just take the right hand to the bottom of your ribs. Make sure everything is pulled up. And then stretch your right arm forward, squeezing everything to the midline as you're stretching long through your limbs. Shaila's back there pulling on your pant leg. I'm in the front pulling on your arms, stretching you apart. One more breath. Gotta bring Shaila in there. And then release down. Very good. Take another little circle with your hips. That's actually a lot harder than it looks. Good, and go the other direction. Good, okay, let's stand on the knees. Just stand on the knees. And if you need to take a little blanket and make some cushion for your knees, you may actually need that for this next little sequence. So feel free to cushion those knees. Okay, and then let's just take the hands and we're just gonna circle out the wrists. And then go the other way. Fluid running through our joints, lubricate. Throw a little oil can. Shake out the hands. And then take your hands, interlace them. And bring your elbows together, forearms together. And just figure 8 your wrist. Figure 8. Circle through the wrists. It's kind of a cool wrist variation. And then go the other way. Shake it out. Nice. A very gentle back bend, Ustrasana. Take the palms to the small of your back. And I really want to tell you, be really gentle with this. This is the first kind of bigger back bend. We're just checking it out. It's more diagnostic. So lift your chest, squeeze your elbows in, and just start to look up and back slightly. You don't have to go far. But if you have more range, you can push into your hips and start to look a little further back. Good, and then you release that. Take the hands forward onto the mat. And if you need to, bring your knees together and sit on a block or two, opening your feet, or just sit on your heels. So whatever is comfortable for you to sit in Vajrasana. You can also stay standing on the knees, but you could also use whatever you need to elevate your hips. Give yourself some support. And then let's sweep the arms up. Big breath in here. And then twist to the right. Just bring your right arm back, left arm forward, twisting the upper body. And then inhale back to center. Exhale, twist left. Good, and then one more time. Inhale. Exhale, twist right, and now take your left hand on the outside of the right knee, thigh area, and take that right hand back on the floor behind you and and twist your upper body. Keeping your left hip back, twist from the mid-spine. And then inhale back to center. And exhale, twist to the left. And then take your right hand on the outside of your left knee thigh. And take your left hand back behind you. So you might be on fingertips here, just to leverage a longer spine. Keeping your right hip back, twist from your chest. Good, and then come back. Inhale, lift up. And then we'll bring the hands forward. We'll walk all the way out. Remove the blocks if you have them. Curl the toes under, and we're gonna come into plank pose. So if you're not doing plank, you could take forearm plank, or you can just keep your knees down. So whatever you need, but this is a wonderful way to build strength in a very gentle way. Draw the navel in and up like you have a little fire underneath your belly. So you want to dome, you don't want to get burned. So pull the navel up. Hold here. Make sure the jaw is relaxed. Nice, and then let's place the right knee down underneath your right sit bone, and then spin your left heel down like a kickstand behind you. And take your left arm up towards the ceiling, open wide across your chest. Turn the palm to face down towards the floor and stretch it long over the ear. And then let's circle in that shoulder. So cross in front of your face, tracing the body, and right back up again. And maybe you want to take your eye gaze to the center of your palm so that you can get an eye stretch as well, stretching your optical nerve, building strength in your eyes, and also moving the neck around. One more big circle here. And then we'll pause at that final big stretch, opening up the side body. And then if you want to take a little balance, shift the weight to your right arm, right wrist, and then take your left leg up, right in line with the spine. Just see how your balance is. And if you have more range, you can stay right here. You can bend the knee and grab the toes and pull the heel toward your butt as you stretch the thigh away from you. Good, and then we'll all release out of that. Take the hands and knees down and give yourself a couple more little circles just to reset and go the other way. Very good, and let's go back into plank pose. 3 more breaths. Remember your fire right underneath your belly. Pull your belly up. You don't want to get burned. Relax your jaw. 1 more breath here. Good, and then just set your left knee down underneath your left sit bone. Spin your right foot down like a kickstand. And then take the right arm up towards the ceiling and stretch it long over the ear. So keeping those shoulder heads back, start to circle that arm in front of your face, along the body, and right back up. Big circles. One more round. And then take it into a little balance. So you can lift the right leg. Maybe you grab the toes, maybe not, for the thigh stretch. Woo, lost my balance. tabletop. Very good. Let's come down onto the forearms, please. Interlace the hands so you have this little tripod look. Your elbows and your wrist create a little tripod. And then stretch the toes back. So you're coming into a low plank. Lift your thighs, press through your heels. This is wonderful for the entire shoulder girdle. So we're squeezing the elbows in slightly as you're pressing down through the arms, the base. But the face is still relaxed. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Relax your neck, your jaw. Good, and then let's come down to the knees gently. And then release the interlaced hands, lower down to Sphinx pose. Lift across your chest, stretch back through your toes. Okay, and then let's let the head just drop. Let the head drop. Stretch the back of your neck. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of nourishment, toning for the your SI joint. So let's lift up the chest, lift your face, and then lift your leg from your hip, your right leg. Stretch the toes back. You don't have to lift high. Keep your right hip down, and everything else lifts up. And then lower that right leg, lower the head back down. And then inhale, lift the chest, and then we'll take the left leg up. So the left hip stays down, but your thigh lifts, your knee lifts. Lift and stretch back. And then exhale, lower down. Good, so now you know what we're doing. Let's flow with that a couple more rounds. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your face, and lift the right leg. Stretch back. Exhale as you lower. Inhale as you lift, left leg. Exhale as you lower. Very good. And then let's go ahead and take the hands underneath your forehead. Stack your hands, rest your forehead. Bend your knees and windshield wiper your legs. Or circle the legs around. And then go the other way. Good, and then let's keep the right foot there, stretch your left leg long, and then just reach around with your right hand. See if you can grab your toes. Keeping your head and your shoulders relaxed, just pull the heel toward your glutes. Press your pelvis down and pull the heel in. And that'll really give you a nice quad stretch there. But try not to put any strain in your neck and your upper body. Just relax the upper body. This is quite accessible for those people who are really tight. You don't have to access any other muscles, just your thigh. And then release that right leg down. And then we'll switch to the other side. Reach for those left toes. And if you can't reach the toes, that's okay. You just stay, maybe just bend the knee and have it start with a thought, reaching back for the toes. Bring that heel into your glutes, press the pelvis down, and pull the heel closer. Relax head and neck and shoulders. Good, and then release that. So nice. Let's bring the hands under the shoulders. We'll come on back to a child's pose for a little reset. And then let's come into tabletop. I'm going to bring you into a little more accessible dog pose. Wider and shorter. Wider and shorter dog.
So we'll bring the feet out a little wider and walk them in a little closer so that they're a little bit more short here from distance from hands to feet. Pressing the heels down, pressing the chest towards your thighs. And then taking one more breath. Maybe exhale through the mouth to soften, to relax. And then let's walk the hands back towards your feet into a forward fold. You can always bend those knees, make it a little bit easier. Give your head a little shake, yes and no. Good, and let's bring the hands on your hips. Press through the feet and come up with a nice flat back. Good. Let's bring the feet in about hip distance apart. And then inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Long stretch here. Interlace the hands and turn the palms inside out, pressing the sky away from you. And root down to the bones of your legs. So your feet are rooting down, your legs are rooting down, and stretching up with your upper body. Use all that resistance there and just take it up and over to the left. Stretching the right side body. And then inhale up and over to your right, stretching the left side. Coming back through center, stay here. Twist your upper body to the right, to the best you can, and then stay twisting to the right as you lean back. See if you can breathe down into your lower back. And then coming back through this twist and come back to center. And now twisting left. And then lean back, stretching the whole front right, maybe even the low back. It's a good stretch. And then coming back through the twist, and then back to center. Take the arms down, circle the wrists all the way down. All the way down. Good, and then we'll clasp the hands behind you. Open the chest, stretch the arms long. So are you like me, where you have tension here in your rhomboids, right? Most of us do. So this will be a really nice stretch for you. Take the arms back, lift the arms a little bit away from your body, and then just drop your chin towards your chest. You should feel a nice stretch right in the center of your shoulder blades. And then good, lift the head, release the arms. Give your arms a little shake. And take a breath in, exhale through the mouth. And then let's roll the shoulders up, pull them back, and pull them down. Up, back, and down. One more in this direction. Up, back, and down. And let's reverse it. Up, forward, and down. Up, forward, and down. And one more time. Good. And then we're going to start with some rotational work for our shoulders. Stretch the right arm down away from your ear. Kind of like you're trying to touch the floor. And then now stretch it forward in front of you, like you're trying to touch the window or the wall in front of you. And then reach it up like you're trying to touch the ceiling. Really reach up. And now turn the palm to face down as you stretch back behind you, like you're trying to touch the wall behind you. Look towards the thumb, and then complete the circle right alongside the body. Let's do that to the left side. Stretch the left arm down, forward, and up, all the way back. Twist and look back, and complete your circle. So let's go side to side. Right side stretches down, forward, and up and all the way back, stretching long and stretching back down. Left side, stretch down, forward and up, all the way back and back down. And go again on your own. And you can tell by now, you realize this is active. You're not just circling the arm, you're stretching as you're rotating. And then what happened to the breath? So we'll breathe in as you stretch forward and up, and breathe out as you stretch back and down. Okay, try that again with your breath focus. And you'll find that you get a really nice stretch, even in the neck. Good, very good. Let's release that. Just relax in Tadasana. Palms roll forward. Root down through your legs and have a little micro bend in your knees here. And then let's inhale, stretch the arms up, maybe take a little bit of a back bend there. This is called Hasta Uttanasana, sky reaching. And then bring my hands to the heart and lower down, Uttanasana, forward fold. Bend your knees as much as you need. Ardha Uttanasana, slide the hands to the front of your shins, reach the spine long. And then exhale, folding back in. Strong legs, root to rise, inhale, Hasta Uttanasana, reach, maybe little back bend. And then hands to the heart, Samastitihi, right to the heart center. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, stretching up, and maybe back. And exhale, diving forward. Long spine is the priority, not straight legs. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Let's walk the hands all the way out to plank pose, plank asana. And then let's take those knees down, lower down, Ashtanga Namaskar, 8 limbs pose. Graze the elbows towards your ribs, come down chin and chest, tail is high, and then slide your legs back, Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Inhale, lift your chest, shoulders relax. And exhale and fold all the way back down onto your belly, and then come back into child's pose. And just take a couple of deep breaths there. Checking in with how you're feeling as things start to wake up and get warm. And then I'm going to bring my blanket underneath my knees. If you haven't already, you may want to do that for this next little sequence. Okay, so we're going to come into tabletop, hands and knees with your knees on your blanket. And then let's lift and lengthen the right leg back behind you. And bring your knee to the nose as you exhale your breath. Inhale, straight back, lift your face, lift your chest. Exhale, round chin towards the throat, knee towards the forehead. 2 more times. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale, step your foot up between your hands. Maybe use blocks here. And then just take a moment to shift your left hip to the left and forward, and then over to the right, and then forward. Just take a few moments to open things up there. Good. And then we're going to spin this back leg. So just turn your foot to face towards the right. So now your thigh bone is facing out to the left. And then cartwheel the arms up into this little baby warrior 2. Remember this one? So we're going to bend into this front knee, just so that it lands over the heel. And your arms are stretching long. And that's it. Okay, so everyone just, it's worth it to check out the knee. Is it coming in towards the big toe? If it is, push it out towards the pinky toe. And then maybe sit a little bit deeper. Good. You're stretching equally across the chest. Arms are stretching equally. Place the right forearm on the thigh and stretch long over the ear for a little baby side angle pose. And just take a few breaths there. Good. And then use your breath to lift you up. Inhale comes up to warrior two, and then take your left hand to your waist. Turn the right palm to face up, stretch forward, and then go back, kind of bowing those ribs. So your left hand can stay on the waist, it's great, or bring it to your calf muscle, or on the floor behind you. So depend on your range. Good, and then we're gonna come all the way through lizard. Bring your hands on the inside of your right foot. Straighten out your left leg behind you. And you can walk your right toes to the corner, the right side of your mat just a little bit. And let the foot roll to the pinky. So you're lifting the big toe side. And then press back down the entire foot. Roll to the pinky and press down to the foot. So you're getting into the inner thighs here. One more time. And then we'll stay with the foot flat. Maybe you stay here on the hands or come down to the forearms or maybe a couple of blocks. But just making sure that the spine is long. The breath is steady. So it's especially important when things get a little bit challenging on your mat. It's more important how you deal with that challenge. You know, do you have the wisdom to back off a little bit and regain control over your breath? Or are you one to power through and push through and then end up injuring yourself? So these are all things that also come up for us in our daily life, not just on our mat. And it's a good time to reflect on that. And then let's come back up if you're on your forearms. Let's walk the foot towards the center. And then just come back into a half split. Flex the right toes towards your nose. Lift your chest. And then just enjoy that back line of the right leg stretch. And let's do a little sciatic toning. Let's just roll to the outside of the heel and then roll to the inside. So you're getting your entire leg to shift side to side. Keeping the toes active. Good, and then back to center. Pull your toes back. Maybe you stretch a little longer over that leg if you have room. If not, just stay where it feels okay for you. And then let's come all the way through that low lunge. Curl your back toes under and lift up the thigh. And just start to move towards a little straighter right leg, pressing your left heel back. It may or may not touch, it doesn't matter. And then inhale, bend the right knee. Keep the back leg lifted as you lift your chin. And then exhale, folding, and maybe straightening that leg a little bit more each time. Let's go with that flow, a couple more rounds. Inhaling. And exhaling. Once more. And exhale. And then we'll hold this pyramid shape just for about 3 breaths, please. Always feel free to bend the knees much as needed. heel down so the toes face out towards the long edge of your mat. Bend your right knee and then come into warrior two, the grown-up version. Good. So remember this left hip here, you guys. Right hip, sorry. No, left hip. Yeah. Left hip. Your left hip. You're going to let it shift a little forward, right? So not so open here. Let it shift a little forward. And then you'll twist the upper body a little bit more the opposite way. So you get more into the hips safely. Good. 3 phases of the pose. Do you remember what they are? The first one is getting into the shape, right? Let your body acclimate to the shape. And then once you're there, tap back into your breath. And once you do that, you let the posture do its magic. Hold it. It takes at least 30 seconds for things to change. And then let's straighten up the legs and then go back into reverse Trikonasana. So just opening up that whole side body. Nice. Now let's take triangle pose. Come back to center, lengthen out over that leg. Take that hand down, top arm up. Breathe. Relax your face, your jaw, and your mind. Good. Back into warrior two, please. Into reverse warrior. Bend your front knee and then cartwheel the arms down, all the way down to frame your foot. Do the best you can to step back to plank. Lower down, nice and slow. You can take your knees down if you'd like. Inhale, cobra, or maybe upward facing dog if you'd like. And then all the way back to downward facing dog. You could also just take child's pose as your reset, your rest pose. Breathing in and out the nose. And then let's all meet into tabletop, hands and knees. Uncurl those toes. And then we'll take the left leg straight back, toes facing down. Lift your face, lift your chin. And exhale, bring your knee towards the forehead, round the spine. Inhale back. A little more core work. Exhale, bring it in. And 2 more times like that. With the flow of your breath. And then let's bring that foot all the way up in between your hands. Bring your blocks back in. And then shifting your hips a little side to side. Just getting into those deeper layers. Very nice. Okay, then from there we're going to spin our back right foot to the left so that your shin bone is in line with your knee. Set up the left knee here, make sure it's tracking the center of your foot, and then go ahead and come up into that baby warrior two. And give yourself some time to acclimate to the shape. It's a different shape. So let your body adjust. Find your breath. And just be okay with yourself right here. Very nice. Side angle, baby version. Form on the thigh. Stretch that right arm over the ear. Breathe. I love this variation. It's so different. And then let's come up and place the right hand on your waist. Turn the left palm up. Reach forward and then go back. Stay in the hips. Reach back. Maybe that right hand finds your calf or the floor or just stays right on your hip. Wherever you are, keep sinking into that front hip a little bit more. Very nice. And then coming up with your core strength and come into framing the foot and stretch your right leg back behind you. And then come into half split. Flex the toes toward your nose. Take a moment to get that nice hamstring stretch. And then we'll start with the shifting, toning the sciatic nerve. Just shift side to side with a nice firm foot. Toes are awake. They're bright. Definitely feel that little zinger, right? On the outside of that leg. All right, coming back to center, flex your toes, lift your chest. Maybe stay right there if you feel a lot. Or you can walk out a little further, stretching long. You didn't get this tight overnight, you guys. So it takes a little time to unwind it all. And then let's come all the way through the low lunge. Curl your back toes under, and then lift the back thigh, lift the back knee, and just start to press that right heel back. That's important. You want to feel that calf stretch. Only straighten the left leg to your own degree, keeping your spine nice and long. And then on your inhale, bend the left knee, lift the chest. And then exhale, start to move towards a little straighter leg each time. Taking that up a couple more times, inhaling. And exhaling. And once more. And then holding the pyramid shape for about 3 breaths. Very nice. Rebend into that front left knee. Spin your right foot down, flat, and then cartwheel the arms up to an adult warrior 2. Opening across the chest. Let that right hip shift a little forward. Or is it left foot? Yep. No, it's right foot. Yeah. Good. And just be okay there. Relax your shoulders. Get in those hips a little bit more. You're building strength. That's why they call them warriors. And then straighten up the legs and reverse into a Trikonasana, reverse triangle. And then we'll take triangle pose. Make sure the legs are active. Reach out over that leg. And then take your triangle pose. The one thing I would be careful of is not putting too much pressure on that bottom leg, not to rely so much on that leg, but use your strong legs and core to feel light in the upper body. Good, and then bend your knee to come out, warrior 2, right into reverse warrior, reach back. And then we'll cartwheel the arms on the inside of that left foot, roll up onto the back toes, and come into lizard pose. And you can allow that toe to kind of walk towards the corner, or that foot to walk towards the corner. Roll to the pinky, press into the big toe. Opening and closing, getting into the hips a little more. And then keeping the foot flat, you can stay lifted if if you feel quite a bit, or come down to the forearms or blocks to deepen it. So it depends on where you are. And I think anybody can do a variation of this, so using blocks and whatever you need to bring the floor a little closer is helpful. Good, and then coming back up onto the forearms if you've gone down there, and walk your foot back into the center. Shift back into a half split briefly. And then coming all the way through low lunge and step up to the top of your mat. So take your time getting there. Step up to the top. And then walk your feet all the way in together. Slide your hands up to your knees. And we're going to do these little circles with the knees. Little circles. So I'll face you in case that's confusing. So these little circles here. This helps to remove the air out of the joint and then go the other direction. You might even hear them crack or pop. And then keep going, alternating, going side to side. My martial arts teacher used to do this all the time in warm-up, and it's really good for the health of the knees. And then just give them a little bit of pressure. Just push a little bit back on the knees. Good, and then slide the hands up to your hips now. And then we're going to take these big circles with your upper body, but bring your feet about hip distance. And then lean way forward, all the way over to the right, back and around to the left, keeping your navel nice and tight towards the spine. Yeah, and the slower you go, the more you'll find out, like where you're feeling stuff, and then go the other direction. This could be big or small. Okay, nice, and then coming back into Tadasana. Open up the palms. And then let's just do little circles with your neck. So rotating the neck around, whatever variation feels good for you, but I like to do the one where I'm circling my nose around an imaginary clock out in front of me, and mine's a pretty big clock. I'm trying to hit every number with my nose, and looking over to one side, and all the way down and around. And then reverse it, go the other direction. Nice, and then we'll come back through the center. Take a moment, just feel your legs, feel your body, feel your energy. Relax your shoulders. Relax where you consciously can. And then let's take a nice wide stride here on your mat. And this is where you might need your blocks right out in front of you. So if you have sciatic issues, I would say keep your feet parallel and maybe even slightly turned out. Otherwise, just find a comfortable position for your feet. And then we're gonna lift up, inhale. And then exhale, bend your knees and come on down. Touch the hands on your blocks or the floor. Lift the hips to your own degree. And now shift a little bit over to your right hip, right thigh. So bend into the right knee, keep the left leg straight. And then up and over to the left hip, left thigh. And going back and forth a few times. Now you could stay right here. This is perfect, just going side to side, getting into the hips and the inner thighs. If you have more range, you can shift all the way over to that bent leg and float those opposite toes up, not using your hands, and then coming up and over to the other side. So everyone's a little bit different in what they can and can't do, depending on what your body's been through. So find your variation. One more time to both sides. And then let's come up into a center stretch and hold here for about 3 breaths. Good, and then lifting up halfway on your inhale. Bend your knees, bring your hands on your hips and come up with a nice flat back. And then heel ball your feet in, heel ball all the way in until they're together. And then bring your hands to the heart. We're gonna transition now into tree pose. Shift the weight to your right leg, turn the left knee out to the side. So there's a couple different variations of tree that you could do. You can stay on the low part of your ankle calf muscle, or place the foot all the way up into the upper inner thigh. There's also another variation that if you have pretty good knees and you don't have an issue with them, you can scoop underneath the foot, leg, and then place the sole of your foot facing up towards your face, right on top of your thigh. You can hold on to the foot. To protect the knee, just relax the thigh down. And then you can bring your thumb to the heart. So whatever you're working on for tree, play with it, explore. How does your body feel? Fall many times. That's a good thing. But just keep coming back, okay? And then notice, how do you respond when you fall? Do you get frustrated? Try to stay calm. Try not to let it ruffle your feathers at all. Just keep coming back. So you have about 20 more seconds to practice. I encourage you to practice some variation of balance. It's the first thing that leaves us as we age. Our balance is really challenged. And then everybody can release wherever they are. Circle out whatever leg is feeling like it needs a little love. Maybe both of them. Yeah. And then notice if you went, that probably means you were holding your breath. So just good awareness, you know, if you're holding the breath, be really vigilant about keeping the breath going, whether you fall or not. Okay, other side, when you're ready. Maybe you try all 3 variations. Now you may notice that your standing foot is gripping for dear life, right? So try to relax and spread out your toes. Trust your feet. They know how to keep you balanced. Don't fight it. Relax your toes, your bottom toes. If it's super easy for you just to stand on one leg, try closing your eyes. There's always someplace else to go, you guys. Don't get complacent. You actually should be challenged in your balance. You should be at the point where you feel like falling. That's the only way the brain is working on your balance. You have to be challenged. 10 more seconds, so wherever you are, try to come back if you've fallen. Give yourself that last 10 seconds. Nice, Mark. And then you can release out of that. Good. Give your legs a little shake. Balancing is stressful. All right, come up to the top of your mat, please. And then let's inhale, stretch up, take a little back bend there. And then exhale, come on down, forward fold. We're just taking a vinyasa to the floor. Inhale halfway. And exhale, fold. Let's step back to plank or your knees and lower down gently. Cobra or upward facing. And then we will all meet in child's pose just for a couple breaths. And then when you're ready, let's make your way onto your back. Hooray! I heard you. All right, get your blocks and things close by. We'll just do a few things on your back before Shavasana. It was a nice standing practice today. So making your way on your back, let's bend the knees, soles of the feet down onto the mat. And then let's peel the hips up through a bridge pose. Walk your shoulders a little closer together underneath you. Maybe clasp the hands if it's available. And hold for 3 breaths here, please. Nice, and then we'll release with awareness, 1 vertebra at a time. And let's draw that right knee in, stretch your left leg long, and circle through the right hip a few times. We did a lot of hip stuff today, so give it some love here. Circle out any kind of tension that's accumulated there. Then go the other direction. And then let's reach down for your strap, or if you can reach your big toe with no problem, go ahead and do that. Everyone's going to be different because we're all shaped a little different. And then we'll just go for a hamstring stretch here, nice and gently. It's nice to do these postures here when you're lying down because you have the support of the earth underneath you. So just firm your legs as if you were standing on them. Flex your feet. And then once you're in that shape and you feel a good stretch, just breathe through it. Good. Let's take that strap in the right hand and bring that right leg to the right as you reach long through the left. Maybe you look left, so it keeps you more heavy in the left side. Flex your left foot and extend through the heels of your feet. Then inhale your breath as you come back up. And then let's take the strap into the left hand, reach the right arm away from you, and start to cross the body. set up for figure 4. Lifting your leg back up through center. Release the strap. And then take the left foot to the floor, cross the right ankle so that it hangs off your left knee. And then I want you to really put your focus on your low back. So flatten out your low back. Keep that and press the right knee away from your body. You could stay there or go for a more of a pigeon. Interlace the hands beyond your left thigh. So a little more outer hip opener. Notice those shoulders, you guys. They love to creep in and take over. Good. And then let's just place both feet down onto the mat. Bring your feet to the width of your mat and let your knees drop in towards each other. Then from there, let the knees drop to the right. And then up and over to your left. And one more time, just going side to side. Should feel good. And then back through center. Let's bring in that left knee now. Interlace a couple of inches below your left knee. Stretch your right leg long and circle in that left hip. And go the other direction too. Good, and then squeeze down into the hip, and then we'll take our strap to the left side. So once you're in this pose, check out your upper body. You want it to feel as if you were standing in Tadasana. So your shoulders don't creep up by your ears, they don't roll forward, your chin isn't jetting up. So just check in with all of that. It should be neutral. And then firm your legs just as if you were standing on them. Are you breathing here? Deep, full breaths. No thinking. Just breathing. Very nice. And let's take the strap now into the left hand. Reach the right arm out, left leg to the left. And look towards the right thumb. Firm your right leg. And then right back to your breath pattern. Inhaling for 4, exhaling for 4. On your next inhale, bring your leg back through center. And then switch your strap into the right hand, reach the left arm out, keep the left shoulder down, and start to cross over to the right. It's your one chance here to really let go of all of the mental activity. So you're giving your mind a really deep rest here if you let it. You don't have to think about anything. You just feel what's going on in your body, stay with your breath. It's truly like a meditation. Deep mind rest. the right foot to the floor and release that strap. Cross the left ankle over the right knee. Remember the small of your back. We're going to anchor it and then push the knee away from you. You could stay there, it's great. Or interlace the hands beyond your right thigh or right shin. Right back to breath, no thinking. Stay present. Good. And then let's release. This time, bring the soles of your feet together on your mat and let the knees just drop out. So we have Supta Baddha Konasana here, opening the inner thighs, the low back. If this is not comfortable, you can place a block on either side underneath your thigh area, knee area, to give you a little more support. And then if you're comfortable enough here, we will do some breathing. We call this 3-part yoga breath. And let me just describe it, and then you can go ahead and practice it. So we're breaking this up into 3 sections. Inhaling for 2 counts in the lower belly. Pausing, and then inhale 2 more counts in the ribs. Pause. And then the final 2 in the upper chest, clavicle, head area. Pause. And then you exhale 2 count in the head and chest, 2 count in the ribs, and then the final 2 count in the belly. 3-part yoga breath. Go ahead and begin that on your own. It's like you're pouring out a glass of water a little bit at a time and filling it back up a little bit at a time. Let's practice that one more time. And then finally, Shavasana. Just relax completely. Notice how your body feels, how your mind is, how your emotions are. And compare it to the beginning of class. How has that all changed?
just relaxing there for a few more moments. I found something, I believe I found it on Facebook. You may or may not have seen this too, but I thought it was worth sharing. So I'm going to read this to you while you're resting. This is the story of Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs died as a billionaire with a capital of $7 billion at the age of 56 from pancreatic cancer, and here are some of the last words. At this moment, lying in bed, ill, and remembering my whole life, I realize that all the recognition and wealth I have are insignificant in the presence of imminent death. You can hire someone to drive you a car, to drive you a car, make money for you, but you can't hire someone to carry the disease for you. As we get older, we get smarter, and we slowly understand that when a clock is worth $30 or $300, they both show the exact same time. Whether we drive a $150,000 car or a $2,000 car, the road and distance are the same. We arrive at the same destination. If we drink a $300 or a $10 bottle of wine, we'd be just as drunk. 5 facts that cannot be denied. Number 1, don't educate your children to be rich. Educate them to be happy. So when they grow up, they will know the value of things and not their price. Number 2, eat your food as medicine. Otherwise, you will have to eat your medicine as food. That's my favorite. Number 3, the one who loves you will never leave you. Even if he has 100 reasons to give up, he will always find one reason to hold on. Number 4, there is a big difference between being a human and being. Number 5, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And with that, I will let you guys go onto your weekend. Namaste, everyone.